are moments in history when the world is transformed, not by armies, not by wealth, not even by power, but by a woman whose courage is invisible but undeniable. You may walk past her on the street and never know the battles she has fought. She may not speak often, but when she does, her words carry the weight of nations. You need to hear this, because perhaps, just perhaps, you are one of them. Or maybe you love one. Or maybe you've misunderstood one. This speech will show you the 7 hidden marks that only chosen women possess. These signs are not seen with the eyes, but with the heart. And once you recognize them, you will never look at her or yourself the same way again. Do not miss what's coming, because by the time we are done, you will not only know these marks, you will see why the world so often fears and misunderstands women who carry them. Let us begin. 1. The mark of purpose. The first mark is purpose. Every woman chosen by destiny carries within her a sense of purpose that can never be shaken. It's not something that is spoken, but it is felt by those around her. She doesn't need to announce her plans. She doesn't need to shout for attention. It is in the quiet assurance of her heart, the calm in her eyes, that speaks of a purpose greater than herself. The world might try to sideline her, but the chosen woman has a force that moves her forward. Purpose makes her tireless in her pursuit and steadfast in her beliefs. It is the quiet power of knowing that every step, no matter how small, is leading her towards something bigger than herself. 2. The mark of resilience. The second mark is resilience. Chosen women are not immune to hardships. They face battles, sometimes public, often private, that would break the average person. But the chosen woman, she rises. When the winds of adversity blow strongest, she does not bend. She does not break. She bends with the wind. She bends for the wind, but she never breaks. Through her pain, she finds her strength. Her resilience is not the strength of muscle or might, but the strength of the heart, a quiet determination to keep moving despite the odds. 3. The mark of wisdom. The third mark is wisdom. It is a wisdom born of experience and often of struggle. It's not learned in classrooms or in textbooks. It is the kind of wisdom that comes from pain, from facing the storm and learning how to dance in the rain. A chosen woman speaks with the kind of wisdom that comes not from a place of pride, but from a place of humility. Her wisdom is wrapped in kindness, in understanding, and in deep empathy for others. She has seen enough of life's cruelty to understand that the greatest wisdom lies in gentleness, in forgiveness, and in the ability to lift others up. 4. The mark of strength. The fourth mark is strength. And I do not speak of the kind of strength that is loud and forceful. I speak of the quiet strength, the strength that stands tall, even in the face of the deepest despair. Strength is not always the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes it is the voice that remains calm when the world around her is chaos. The chosen woman knows that strength is not measured by how hard you hit, but by how steady you stand when everything else is falling apart. Her strength is in her grace, her dignity, and her refusal to compromise her values. The world may try to tear her down, but her foundation is unshakable. 5. The mark of influence. The fifth mark is influence. This is a woman who may not always seek the spotlight, but when she speaks, people listen. She doesn't demand respect. She commands it, not with force, but with the sheer weight of her integrity and character. Her influence does not stem from the power of her position, but from the power of her spirit. People are drawn to her because there is something magnetic in the way she carries herself, something that says, I have been through the fire, and I will help you through it too. 6. The mark of compassion. The sixth mark is compassion. Chosen women are the ones who will always find the time to listen to someone else's troubles, even when they have their own to carry. There is no suffering too small for them to care about, no pain too insignificant to warrant attention. Their hearts are not just large enough to carry their own burdens, they are big enough to carry others too. They know that compassion is not just about feeling sorry for someone, but about reaching down to lift them up. Compassion is about seeing the humanity in others, especially when they are at their lowest, and refusing to let them stay there. 7, the mark of courage. Finally, the 7th mark is courage. It takes courage to be a chosen woman, courage to stand alone when others walk away, courage to speak the truth when others remain silent, courage to love in the face of rejection and to forgive in the face of betrayal. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it head on, knowing that even in the darkest moments, there is light ahead. The chosen woman has courage not because she has never felt fear, but because she has learned that the greatest victories are often won by those who are willing to face their fears, no matter how terrifying. As I close, I ask you to remember this. The marks of the chosen woman are not always visible to the world, but they are visible to those who take the time to see. These women are not defined by the roles they play, the titles they hold, or the accolades they receive. They are defined by the quiet power they carry within, by the lives they touch, and by the love they give. You may be one of them. You may know one of them, or you may become one of them. When the world asks, what is a chosen woman? It is not the loud ones who will answer, but the ones who have silently, courageously, and purposefully stood their ground. They have faced their storms, borne their burdens, and stood tall, not for their own glory, but for the good of all. So, take a moment and ask yourself, do I recognize the marks of a chosen woman, and do I carry them within me? Thank you. The first mark of a chosen woman is purpose. Purpose is the driving force that guides her every action, shaping her decisions, her path, and her destiny. It is the inner compass that tells her where to go, even when the world around her is unclear. Purpose doesn't need to be declared or announced to the world. It doesn't need applause or validation. It simply exists within her, quietly, steadfastly, propelling her forward, even in the face of adversity. It's not the loud, bold actions that reveal her purpose. It's the quiet resolve, the sense of direction that she carries, even when no one is watching. Chosen women understand that their lives are not accidental. There is a greater force at work, a divine hand that guides them towards something bigger than themselves. They know that every struggle they face is not just a trial but a lesson, a step closer to fulfilling the purpose that was set for them long before they were born. They carry a vision, one that might not always be clear to others, but is unmistakable to them. And because of this purpose, they can endure what would break the hearts of others. They rise every time they fall, knowing that their purpose is greater than any momentary hardship. Purpose in a chosen woman doesn't mean that she has all the answers. It doesn't mean that she's never lost or unsure. But it means that even in those moments of uncertainty, she has a knowing deep within her that guides her choices and keeps her moving forward. The world may try to sideline her to make her doubt her path, but she will never forget the purpose she carries. It may be difficult to see at times, especially when the road gets rough, but she knows that each challenge, each setback is preparing her for what she's meant to do. The power of purpose is in its consistency. It's not flashy or attention-seeking. It's a steady force, always moving her closer to the fulfillment of her destiny. When others are distracted by the noise of the world, she remains focused. Purpose gives her the strength to keep going when the journey seems impossible, the courage to stand alone when others walk away, and the confidence to speak when silence would be easier. It is the silent strength that sustains her, the force that helps her overcome obstacles that would break most. And it is because of this purpose that the chosen woman can make an impact that is far greater than her circumstances might suggest. The second mark of a chosen woman is resilience. Resilience is not simply the ability to bounce back from hardship. It is the quiet strength that enables a woman to rise again, no matter how many times life knocks her down. It is the inner fortitude that refuses to stay down, even when every part of her wants to give up. Chosen women are not immune to pain or difficulty. They do not live lives free from struggle, nor do they seek a life of ease. Instead, they understand that hardship is not a sign of weakness, but a part of the journey toward greatness. They face the storms of life with courage, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Resilience is not something that can be taught or bought. It is built in the fire of adversity. A chosen woman does not grow stronger by avoiding pain, but by embracing it. She learns how to stand in the face of adversity, how to endure when everything around her is falling apart. She does not crumble under pressure. Instead, she finds her strength in the struggle. It is in those moments of darkness, when everything seems lost, that the chosen woman reveals her true power. She does not seek the approval of others, nor does she look for comfort in external sources. Her strength comes from within, from a deep understanding that no storm, no matter how fierce, can last forever. It is easy to think of resilience as simply enduring pain, but true resilience is about transformation. A chosen woman's ability to weather the storms of life doesn't just mean surviving them. It means emerging from them stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. With every challenge she faces, she becomes more in tune with her inner power, more attuned to the lessons that hardship has to offer. Resilience is about perspective. It is the ability to look at a setback not as a failure, but as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow. The resilience of a chosen woman is often invisible to those around her. While others may see her as fragile or weak, they fail to recognize the unshakable strength that lies beneath the surface. It is a quiet strength that persists even when it seems the odds are insurmountable. The chosen woman carries her pain with grace, never letting it define her, never allowing it to determine her future. She understands that resilience is not about avoiding pain, but about learning how to thrive despite it. It is this resilience that sets her apart, that makes her capable of achieving things that others would never believe possible. The third mark of a chosen woman is wisdom. This is not the kind of wisdom that comes from academic degrees or the teachings of others, but a deeper, more innate understanding of life, people, and the world around her. It is a wisdom born of experience, often hard-earned through trials and tribulations that have shaped her character and worldview. A chosen woman's wisdom is quiet and patient. It speaks through her actions, her choices, and the way she carries herself in the world. It's the wisdom that doesn't need to be declared loudly because it speaks louder in the way she lives, in the decisions she makes, and in the way she helps others find their own path. This wisdom does not come from always being right, but from knowing when to listen, when to act, and when to wait. It is the result of living through seasons of pain, failure, and success, and learning to make sense of each one. A chosen woman's wisdom comes from understanding that life is not always clear-cut, that there are no simple answers to complex questions, and that sometimes the best way forward is to trust in God's timing rather than our own understanding. She knows that wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing what to do with what you know. She has learned that the greatest wisdom often lies in silence, in the moments when we choose not to speak, but to listen deeply. One of the key elements of the wisdom of a chosen woman is her ability to see beyond the surface. She has the capacity to understand the true nature of things, not just their outward appearance. She is not fooled by the superficial or the temporary. Instead, she seeks what lies beneath the surface, the hearts, the motivations, and the deeper meanings that others may overlook. This insight allows her to make decisions that are informed not just by what is seen, but by what is felt in her spirit. Wisdom in a chosen woman also manifests in her ability to teach others. She doesn't force her knowledge on anyone. Instead, she shares it in a way that is gentle, patient, and empowering. Her wisdom encourages growth, both in herself and in others. She knows that wisdom isn't meant to be kept, but shared. She is a vessel of knowledge, a guide who helps others navigate life's challenges with grace and understanding. The wisdom of a chosen woman is also marked by her ability to remain humble. She does not let her wisdom turn into arrogance or pride. Instead, she remains grounded, knowing that there is always more to learn, always more to understand. She seeks growth not as a means of personal gain, but as a way to serve others, to help them find their own strength and purpose. Her wisdom is not a weapon to be wielded, but a tool to help build and nurture. It is a quiet but powerful force that shapes the world around her. The fourth mark of a chosen woman is strength. But this strength is not the kind that is often seen or recognized by the world. It is not the strength of physical might or external power. Rather, it is an inner strength, an unshakable force that resides deep within her soul. This strength is often quiet and unspoken, but it is the very foundation upon which she builds her life. It is the ability to stand firm when everything around her is crumbling, the ability to hold her ground in the face of adversity, and the ability to keep moving forward even when the path ahead seems unclear. A chosen woman's strength is not about how loudly she can proclaim her authority, nor how forcefully she can demand attention. It is the strength to endure, to persist, and to overcome, even in the most trying circumstances. It is the ability to remain calm and composed in the midst of chaos, to hold steady when others are losing their heads. Her strength is not in her ability to dominate or control, but in her ability to navigate through life's challenges with grace and dignity. This strength is often forged in the fire of hardship and struggle. It is not something that comes easily or naturally. It is the result of countless trials, battles, and setbacks. It is the strength that comes from having to pick yourself up after every failure. The strength that comes from learning to trust in yourself when no one else believes in you. The chosen woman's strength is built through experience, through the scars of life that mark her but do not define her. These scars serve as evidence of her resilience, her ability to rise again and again, no matter how many times life knocks her down. True strength is not measured by how much pain a woman can endure, but by how she transforms that pain into something powerful. A chosen woman understands that her strength lies not in suppressing her emotions or hiding her vulnerabilities, but in embracing them. She allows herself to feel, to cry, to be human, but she does not allow her pain to control her. Instead, she uses it as a catalyst for growth, for transformation. Each challenge she faces is an opportunity to deepen her strength, to develop new layers of resilience, and to move closer to fulfilling her purpose. This strength also allows her to lift others up. It is the strength that comes from knowing your own worth and using that knowledge to empower those around you. A chosen woman's strength is not a solitary thing. It radiates outwards, touching those in her life and helping them find their own courage. She does not use her strength to overpower others, but to support, encourage, and inspire. She stands tall not for her own glory, but to help others stand with her. Ultimately, the strength of a chosen woman is her ability to remain unbroken, no matter what life throws her way. It is the unwavering belief that she is capable of overcoming any challenge, no matter how insurmountable it may seem. Her strength is a quiet, persistent force that continues to move forward, even when the world around her seems to be falling apart. And it is because of this strength that she can achieve greatness, impact lives, and leave a legacy that is far greater than herself. The fifth mark of a chosen woman is influence. Influence is not about holding power over others, but about having the ability to shape, guide, and inspire those around you. A chosen woman possesses a quiet yet profound influence that transcends positions of authority or titles. It is the kind of influence that flows from her character, her actions, and her unwavering commitment to living with integrity. This influence is not something she seeks or demands, but something that naturally emanates from her as she leads by example, lives with purpose, and walks with dignity. The chosen woman's influence is often felt more than it is seen. It's in the way her words have the power to uplift or challenge, in the way her presence can bring calm to chaos, or spark a shift in perspective. She does not need to boast or declare her worth, for her influence is undeniable to those who truly observe her. People are drawn to her, not because of her titles or her material success, but because there is something magnetic about the way she lives. And her influence is felt in the way she interacts with others, the kindness in her voice, the wisdom in her counsel, and the compassion in her actions. She has the ability to make others feel seen, heard, and valued, and through this, she inspires them to be their best selves. A chosen woman understands that influence is not about control or manipulation. It is about leadership that inspires others to rise to their full potential. She does not demand respect or try to force others to follow her. Instead, she earns it through her actions, her consistency, and the strength of her character. People are naturally drawn to her because they sense that she is a person of integrity, a person who genuinely cares about the well-being of others. Her influence is not based on fear or intimidation, but on the trust and admiration she has earned over time. She leads not by coercion, but by the quiet power of her example. The impact of a chosen woman's influence extends far beyond what is visible. She touches lives in ways that are often unseen and unacknowledged. Her influence may not be in grand gestures or public acts, but in the everyday moments where she quietly empowers others. It is in the small acts of kindness, the thoughtful words of encouragement, the way she offers a helping hand to those in need. She may never know the full extent of her impact, but the ripples of her influence can reach far and wide. What makes the influence of a chosen woman so powerful is that it is rooted in authenticity. She does not try to be something she is not. She is real, genuine, and transparent. Her influence comes from a place of authenticity and truth, which is why it resonates so deeply with others. People are drawn to her because she is unapologetically herself. She does not put on a mask or try to conform to the expectations of others. Instead, she embraces her uniqueness and inspires others to do the same. In many ways, the chosen woman's influence is like a seed planted in the hearts of others. It starts small, but over time, it grows and spreads. The wisdom she shares, the love she gives, and the courage she demonstrates become a catalyst for change in those around her. It is this quiet yet powerful influence that allows her to leave a legacy of empowerment, encouraging others to live with purpose and integrity, just as she has done. The sixth mark of a chosen woman is compassion. Compassion is the deep awareness of the suffering of others, coupled with the desire to alleviate that suffering. A chosen woman's compassion is not something that can be turned on or off. It is a core part of who she is. It is a strength that allows her to feel deeply for the pain of others, to understand their struggles, and to offer support without judgment or expectation. Her compassion is unconditional. It doesn't depend on who someone is, what they've done, or whether they deserve it. It is simply a reflection of her heart, a heart that overflows with empathy and care for others. Compassion is the fuel that drives a chosen woman to act in times of need. It is the reason she steps up when others might look away, the reason she offers help when others might hesitate. She sees the hurt in the world, and instead of turning a blind eye, she seeks to make a difference. Her compassion moves her to reach out, to give of herself, and to offer a safe space for others to heal. Whether it's through a kind word, a listening ear, or tangible assistance, the chosen woman offers comfort to those who are hurting. She understands that sometimes the greatest gift she can give is simply her presence, her willingness to stand with someone in their moment of pain. A chosen woman's compassion goes beyond surface-level kindness. It is rooted in a deep understanding that every person carries their own battles, their own wounds, and their own story. She doesn't judge or criticize. Instead, she sees people for who they truly are, beyond their mistakes and flaws. She understands that everyone is fighting their own invisible war, and that sometimes all it takes to change someone's day is the compassion to acknowledge their humanity. This compassion also extends to herself. A chosen woman knows the importance of self-compassion, the ability to show the same love and care for herself that she offers to others. She understands that she cannot pour into others from an empty cup, and so she takes the time to nurture her own well-being. She forgives herself for her shortcomings and learns to embrace her imperfections, knowing that self-compassion is key to her ability to give to others. Her compassion is not a weakness, but a profound strength that fuels her ability to connect with others. It allows her to form deep, meaningful relationships based on trust, understanding, and mutual respect. The chosen woman is someone who others turn to in times of need because they know that she will listen without judgment, offer support without strings attached, and be there when the world feels too cold. Through her compassion, she teaches others the power of love and kindness. She models what it looks like to live with an open heart, to be vulnerable enough to care deeply for others. and strong enough to act on that care. Compassion in a chosen woman is not just about feeling sympathy. It is about taking action to help heal the brokenness in the world. Her compassion is contagious, inspiring others to look beyond themselves and reach out to those in need. It is this compassion that makes her a beacon of light in a world that can often feel dark and disconnected. In conclusion, the 7 hidden marks of a chosen woman are not merely traits. They are the very essence of who she is. Purpose, resilience, wisdom, strength, influence, and compassion. Each of these qualities is interwoven into the fabric of her being, making her not just a woman, but a force of nature. A chosen woman walks through life with an unwavering commitment to her purpose, facing every challenge with resilience and wisdom, while using her strength and influence to empower those around her. Her compassion flows freely, touching the hearts of those who cross her path, offering healing, understanding, and love. What makes these marks so powerful is that they are not for show, nor are they driven by the desire for recognition. They come from a deep well of inner strength and a heart that beats for something greater than herself. The chosen woman does not seek the applause of the world. She seeks to make a difference, to leave a legacy, and to impact lives in ways that are lasting and profound. As you reflect on these 7 marks, I encourage you to look within and recognize the potential that lies in each of you. These marks are not reserved for a select few. They are available to all who choose to walk with purpose, to face adversity with resilience, to lead with wisdom, to be strong when tested, to influence with grace, and to show compassion in a world that desperately needs it. May we all strive to embody these qualities, not just for ourselves, but for the generations that will follow. Let the world see the power of a chosen woman, not because of what she can achieve, but because of who she is at her core. And may we remember that these marks are not the result of perfection, but of a life lived with intention, faith, and love. Thank you.